Welcome. I'll be reacting to Star Trek The Animated Series, Season 1, Episode 7. This is not a market substitute. Support the original on Paramount+. Engage.
The Enterprise has been ordered to survey a new planet recently discovered at the periphery of the galaxy.
Beautiful.
Well now, what's this?
Is it a plant?
When it stops, its roots bore back into the ground. They're all over the place.
Wow.
I think it...
It's so cute.
Oh, must have been a thorn.
Uh-oh. Well, that's gonna come back to bite them.
Unknown toxin.
Sulu,
Can't
yeah.
get a correlation with any known poison.
Maybe the ship's medical
It's
computer.
the plant.
He's got about 1 minute to live unless I can find an answer.
A moment, Captain. The results are
If he has
unclear.
1 minute to live, you might want to hurry up with that.
To wait is to assure your friend's death. I must proceed.
Bones, let them help.
Our science doesn't have anything that works that fast. Yours must be incredible. The toxin
Yeah.
level is decreasing fast.
Our people.
What happened?
A human came. He brought sickness and death. But he also worked to save us from his disease. We had no way of knowing what was happening.
You were alive then?
Very young.
They won't work on any settings, sir.
There is a weapons deactivator in effect here.
So much for it being peaceful.
So help me if you don't tell me where Spock has been taken.
The master!
Praise to the master!
Praise
The
to
master,
Another plant? No, definitely human, Jim.
Return to your ship.
What was the alien race that Apollo was from in Who Mourns for Adonis? I feel like this might be related.
Beam us up, Scotty. We have come upon one of the most fascinating discoveries we have ever seen.
We haven't been able to pick up any human life form readings, sir. Spock and Connectlius must be somewhere our sensor scans can't penetrate.
Fire phasers.
Firing. No effect, Captain. Phaser stun was neutralized at a distance of 1,000 meters.
That's cool that there's a stun setting for the ship's phasers, though. I had no idea.
From Earth History File, Stavros Connectlius, Earth Scientist, period, Eugenics Wars, plan to clone perfect specimen prototype into master race, concept considered anti-humanistic, banned from community.
It couldn't be Caniculus. He'd be over 250 years old.
Not if he
Not
cloned
if he
himself,
cloned a new
yeah.
copy of himself every so often to carry on the search.
Wouldn't there be a degradation?
A strange way to handle aliens.
These are strange aliens we're fighting.
Pesticide?
Looks like they're getting ready to go on a trip.
But where? To what purpose?
To take over the
The
galaxy.
number of ships indicates a mass migration.
Our spore cells have been destroyed. There will be no more of our kind. I will show you he is safe and in good hands. This will serve to illuminate our way.
Beautiful.
Something's happened to his brain. Electrical activity decreasing.
But as Connectlius 1 lives on in each of his clones, so will Mr. Spock. Behold, gentlemen, the dawning of a new era.
A huge Spock. It's pesticide time.
Kirk to
You're
Enterprise.
too far underground.
Nothing. You talk about creating life with your clones, but you have to murder to do it.
It's no use, Mr. Scott. I can't get through.
Except for environmental systems, I want the entire power load of the ship redirected into a tight beam transmission.
What is the logic in letting a man die for the sake of creating his duplicate?
I think new Spock is going to help him out. Spock 2.0.
We're near the drain point on the dilithium crystals now. Our reserves.
Keep trying.
Theme in his later essays about using his master race as a peacekeeping force throughout the galaxy.
Like the Jedi?
You know the Vulcan symbol called the Idic.
Infinite diversity in infinite combinations.
Could an army of Spocks impose peace beyond any other beings in defiance of the Idic concept?
I do not believe so.
Murderer! You've killed Spock!
My mind to your
Of
mind.
course, he can just
My
transfer
thoughts.
it back.
I am pleasantly surprised at your capacity for deductive reasoning, Captain. I would suggest Dr. Connectlius remain on Philos with my duplicate. May yet achieve a rebirth of the Philosian civilization. and enable them to contribute to the Federation.
Any chance of teaching me that body throw could come in handy sometime.
I don't know, sir. It isn't just physical, you know. You have to be inscrutable.
Inscrutable? Sulu, you're the most scrutable man I know.
This episode kind of reminded me of the Ents, because here's these extremely intelligent plants, and they're the last of their kind, probably. Although, of course, we have hope that maybe Spock can figure out how they can re-emerge as a species, which would be great. I love the idea of sentient plants. I don't think we have enough of that in science fiction. We get an episode here and there, but not very often. And it makes sense. The somewhat Greek outfit that he had on really threw me off, because I was like, it must be connected to Apollo, right?
You protest? You risk much.
And so do you.
No. Wishful thinking. So I guess this means there's a giant Spock out there somewhere. That's a somewhat disturbing thought. It's also fun when they have dilithium crystal references. You would think they would keep a lot more of them on board as spares, because this seems to happen a lot, but I guess because they're so rare, they can't afford to just have them sitting around. I don't know, if I were a Starfleet captain, I would make sure that I had tons of dilithium crystals. Overall, this was a really interesting concept, but I didn't really feel like it drew me in. I'm not sure why. It was still an excellent episode, don't get me wrong. It just isn't among my favorites. I feel like they could have done a little bit more with it. Maybe it's because they only had half an hour, and if they had had an hour, they could have done a little bit more of a complex story. It would be an interesting planet to come back to and see what became of the whole project that Spock has going.